Hey, before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Yahawashi, Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother, Radah, with a real quick message. So, Disclosure Day. This is Steven Spielberg. I don't know the actor's name next to him. He's a good actor, but this is what sparked this conversation. Look how effeminate. Look how effeminate they have this man. This Judite male. All right? You have a member of the head tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. And then you have a member of the head tribe of Esau, Edom. Everybody thinks this guy is a Jew because of the controversy of Zion, the 1948 Balfour Declaration, and it was written in prophecy that a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. This is all in the scriptures. But this man is counterfeit. He is not only not a Jew, he is an Amalekite. He is the head tribe of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And this man is not a black man. He is a Judite from the tribe of Judah, and Judah is the head tribe of the true 12 tribes of Israel. And that is the same tribe that Yahawashi came from. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. Talking about rulership. This is the highest ranking human being on the planet Earth as far as prophecy is concerned. And this is also the highest ranking human being on the planet. And what I mean by human being, I'm talking about they are members of those tribes. That is why these two people are sitting together like this. And they are currently in rulership. Esau, Edom is currently in rulership. And Judah and Ephraim, or Judah and Israel, the northern and southern kingdom, they are currently in captivity. And this is why they have this man sitting next to him like a woman. Because Esau, Edom is by nature a faggot. These guys are perversions. These guys are wicked. They are the only nation of people that are called the border of wickedness. You gotta address these. And if you look at him, he's not white. He's got a pinkish hue to his skin. Look at his hands. Look at his face. Look at his shirt. And this gentleman, he is not black. Look at his hair, and then look at his skin. He is a shade of brown. Okay? So in this land of fucking perversion and darkness, Mystery Babylon, we have two men who are sitting beside each other in a system that this man's nation rules and owns and controls, but they desperately need this man. Everything is like elemental magic, okay? This is why they use Jake for everything, because regardless of this man's position on earth, he is still a Hebrew Israelite. All right? And once you understand how left-handed powers work, everything within creation, all the elements and the combination of elements and the manipulation of elements is where you get the left-handed power from. For example, on the right-hand side, if you add, H2O, 1 part oxygen, or 1 part hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen, when you combined it, you get water. That's something super basic, but that is how creation works, bro. It is a mixing of the elements, and it's also the ability to combine those elements. You also have to have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to combine the elements to get another outcome, all right? Why are you talking like this? Because this shit matters, bro. Why, out of all the men on planet Earth, why is a so-called black man sitting next to a so-called white man, but the so-called black man is made to look effeminate? When everyone knows by nature the so-called black man is the most masculine man on planet Earth. Just by him walking, just by the way he sounds, just by the way he moves, motherfuckers feel threatened. But it's also because he's the son of God. He's a Hebrew Israelite. It's got nothing to do with his skin color. It goes all the way down into the bone marrow, the way the Most High made all of us. Okay, I'm saying all this to say this. This piece of shit He is in his lot blaspheming. This dude has been making money. I am 54 years old. I grew up on fucking Steven Spielberg's movies. Let's get his his work. Let me see. Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. Let's do it. At one time, this guy basically was like the Michael Jackson of Hollywood. Okay? He's got a ton. Is that him when he was younger? Wow. He looks crazy right there. He doesn't even look the same, though. Let me see. Well, I want to get his first couple of his first movies. Let me see. See, look at all these fucking movies he's done, bro. It's okay. There goes it goes E.T. Close Encounters. Okay, that's what I wanted to. There should be Poltergeist in here too. So these right here, these three right here, you got to understand these were huge. You got to understand back in the 70s and in the 80s, television was not what it is today. Okay, the movies, you didn't have all of the streaming channels. You didn't have all these satellite. I remember. Let me see. Let's go back. I remember when HBO first came out, it was a blue screen on the TV, and you had to wait till 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night before it would come on, and it would only be on for a couple of hours every day. But it was the new thing. I remember before HBO came out, you just had channels. You had a knob that you turned. And then I remember when they came out with the box, there was two kinds. There was a box that you slid. You had to step up to it by the TV, and you move the dial back and forth. It was like 1 to 100. And you would move, and it was like a little pointed arrow, and the number would light up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 10. And that's how you move back and forth on the channels. That was when that came out. Or if you were really snazzy, you had the big clicker. You got the big fucking. It was like the size of it was like the big size, like it was like 4 times the size of a deck of cards, and you would be able to push the buttons, and you had the remote control. Ooh, you were like a wizard if you had that. That was it, right? Then HBO came out. HBO was not on 24 hours. It was only on for a couple of hours a night, but it was, oh my God, right? You're sitting in front of the TV. Ooh, home box office. Then Showtime came out, then Cinemax, then HBO. A couple of years later, it was 24 hours a day. Oh my God. And you would get a little booklet in the mail every month that would give you that month's programming for HBO. You would know what movies, you would know ahead of time what movies were coming on, if they were rated PG, rated PG-13, or rated R. It was the shit. Back then, everybody read the newspaper. I remember my mom would tell me, "Be quiet, I'm reading the newspaper." We'd be watching TV, and she would be shaking the pages back and forth. Everybody read the fucking newspaper. Everybody played. This was back in the... So whenever a movie came out, when there wasn't that much television, you got to understand how fucking powerful this shit hit the minds of people. Close and fucking Encounters came out. He did Poltergeist, and then he did Raiders of the Lost Ark, There was 3 versions of Indiana Jones, and it was that Steven Spielberg name to it. If Steven Spielberg's name was on it, it was going to be a badass movie. All right, then fucking E.T. came out. You got to understand how intense this is. When you don't understand the scriptures, when you don't know what the Bible truly says, when you are being lied to through Renaissance Western Christianity, which is being spread by the same race of people that are in control of Hollywood, when you learn that fucking Billy Graham, one of the biggest men to spread Christianity, was a 33rd degree Mason. Let's see if it will even bring it up. It probably won't bring it up here. There is no credible evidence that Evangelist Billy Graham was a Freemason. let alone a 33rd degree. Wait, hold on. Why is it so adamant? No, it's absolutely what he was. Was Billy Graham a 33-degree Mason? See how wicked the internet is? Because he is. Look, Billy Graham, Freemason or not. And then right here, this photo is in one of my TikToks. And that photo is what's being pointed out, and that is a Freemasonic handshake with the knuckle and the thumb. That's not your normal handshake. And then that's also a symbol. That's not the hidden hand. It's a sign of respect to another Mason. And this is Harriet Truman. This supposedly this man of God, right, who preaches the gospel, is cool with this piece of shit fucking president. And this was the case with this entire guy's life. He was cool with all the presidents who were doing wicked shit. He never once rebuked a president. And when you go into the Bible, you can't find that. Every time there was a prophet of Israel, and whenever a king went off, the prophet would warn or rebuke the king every single time, no matter what. To the point of sometimes the prophets would get killed. And in King David's case, he would fall down with his face to the ground and repent like he did when the prophet when the prophet Samuel told him what he did. Yet you come to this race of people who claim to be God's chosen people, and you never, ever, ever see a so-called man of God ever, ever publicly rebuke a president. Like John the Baptist told Herod to his face, you can't do that. Didn't it lead up to John the Baptist losing his head? You see this theme throughout the scriptures, yet with these people, when you look at them closely, they don't do what the scriptures say. It's all a facade. This guy was for sure a fucking Freemason. So this piece of shit right here was spreading Renaissance white Christianity, white Jesus, white angels, right? While this same group of people was spreading movies about the Bible using white people, British accents. And then there's a topic inside the Bible that talks about chariots, UFOs. It's in Ezekiel chapter 1. If you go to Ezekiel chapter 1, these are chariots. This is a whole the vision of four figures. These are the chariots and the angels that are operating those chariots. And look, so let's read this. Let's read some of it. Ezekiel 1, verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and fire enfolding itself. And the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof was the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So the fire is appearing in the sky, right? Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Every one of them, okay? And then he breaks down and he says they were in the wheels. As for the likeness of their faces, hold on. And they went everyone straight forward. Okay, look. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance, verse 13, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. So they're moving very fast back and forth. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. What's the wheel? He's talking about a chariot, a UFO. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. And the four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were the wheel in the middle of a wheel. He is describing a fucking UFO. And there's a reason why no Christian, there's a reason why no fucking Billy Graham Christian ever explained that. Okay? Because he was preaching a different gospel. He was preaching a white Jesus that loves everybody, right? And putting a white image of God in the mind of a planet that's predominantly melanated. You got to understand this, you guys. The scriptures are clear with how the Most High looks. It tells you he's got afro hair. It tells you he looks like a sardine stone and a jasper stone. And sardine stones and jasper stones are both brown. Okay, so he gives you two brown stones. That's sardine stone. It gives you two brown stones. All right, it's a sardius stone. What does that look like? A so-called black person. Those are not white people. Okay, let's do another one. A jasper stone. This is Revelation chapter 4, verse 13. It's right there in the scriptures, bro. It's right there. Yet people see white. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Both of those color match all the different shades of Negroes. Okay, and it says he has hair like afro. And then it says that Yahawashi, Revelations, what is it, 1 through? Hold on. Where is, and his head and his hair? His head and his hairs. Okay, Revelations 1:14, Salakia. So this talks about Yahawashi, and Revelations 4:13 or verse 4:3. Now I got to get it. Hold on. So Revelations 1:14, his head and his hairs were white like wool. I'm not talking about his skin, I'm talking about his head and his beard, and as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Brass, when burned in the furnace, is dark. It's not yellow or glowing like the fucking Edomites are trying to say. And then let's go to another chapter. See, or is it? Nope, it's not doing it. Let me see. Was to look upon. Was to look upon like a jasper stone. Jasper stone. So look, this is verse 4:13. So there's some of the Most High on the throne. This is how you have to read the Bible, precept upon precept. Okay. So now we jumped 4 chapters, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. When you go to, I believe it's Daniel, was it Daniel 9? His head was what, like wool? Let me see. Stones of wheels of fire, and this is also telling you that he's surrounded wheels of fire. He's also telling you in Daniel 9, was it 9 or? Where are you at? No, 7, Salakia. So look, Daniel 9, 7 and 9. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, talking about the rulerships, their time is over. And the Ancient of Days, this is the Father, the same God sitting on the throne in Revelations 4:3 with the sardine stone, looking like a sardine stone. This is him sitting on the same throne. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. So the texture of his hair is that of wool. And before the Edomites changed the definition in the dictionary of Negro hair like wool hair, because we started making the connection to this, they changed it. This is describing a so-called black man's hair, because before they changed it in the dictionaries, wool was used to describe Negro hair. So he's got Negro hair, and then look, and his throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. What are the wheels? These are the wheels, the vehicles that the angels on the right hand and on the left hand fly from his presence, from his chariot down to the earth. And this is hard for people to understand, because they are full of this man and his race and his kingdom's methods of deception. Because look at how many fucking movies. Just Steven Spielberg alone. Let's go UFO movies. And with the invention and the creation of the fucking, look, it's endless. And so everyone's been watching these movies, right? About the chariots, the wheels of fire, and all they are the angels on the right and left hand side operating in the earth, right? Look at this photo. I got a photo. Look at this photo. Why do you guys think UFO visits America the most? Because the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, beholding the good and the evil. The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And this is the bloody city. This is Mystery Babylon. This one nation is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire like Sodom and Gomorrah was, because this one nation is the pinnacle of Edomite white supremacy on the earth. It's this one nation where all of the wickedness infiltrates all throughout the earth. Now, things are done all over the earth, but this is the fucking headquarters, bro. So this is why the army, right? The armies of the Most High, Yahweh of hosts, the armies of the Lord. That's why so many people see so many chariots over here. It's not that the rest of the world doesn't matter. It's how wicked this fucking nation is, bro. That's what that means. And because everyone doesn't understand who the Most High is because of the white man being in power, because this race of people have told you their fucking worldview. These motherfuckers. Everything that you think on planet Earth has come through a guy like this. This dude, look, and he's just, oh, I'm so smart. I'm so righteous. I'm so trustworthy. Who is this piece of shit? All he is a fucking Hollywood director. Yet people are going to him that what are they going to tell us in the movie? People are going to pay. I'm going to pay, but I understand what the fucking shit's going on. People are going to pay money so that the so-called white man can tell them more lies. And yet every day you got men on the internet, the Hebrew Israelite men are telling you who the chariots are. Look, I got a playlist. Is it in here? I got a playlist. This is my playlist. Look, UFOs are called clouds in the Bible. Let me see what the whole. They are vehicles. So and then look, these are lessons I've done. Okay? These are lessons that I've done. And there's lessons in here that other men have done. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 are the ones I've done, and the rest are other guys. And that's just this playlist, man. That's just this playlist. And these are just these videos. These are all biblical explanations for people who understand what the chariots are. But because we're so-called black and brown, man, nobody wants to listen to what we have to say. Look what I'm saying right here. But this is the truth.
Forget about Yahawashi when he was standing in front of the woman caught in adultery. And the men brought her to him and said, the law says one caught in adultery should be stoned. What do you say? And he was writing something in the ground, and he stood up and said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And one by one, they were convicted and they let her go. And he looked at her and said, woman, where are thine accusers? She said, there are none, Lord. He said, neither do I accuse thee. Go and sin no more. Now, Christianity has taken this precept and completely made it into something it doesn't even mean. Yes, it is about redemption, but the woman is talking about Israel, and mainly the elect of Israel and the Israelites only. It's not talking about any other race of people on the earth, because no other race of people were given the law. Another clue into this that nobody in the Christian world would understand is when Yahawashi says, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, there's two meanings to this. It goes deeper. He's talking about his father. His father is the only one without sin. Now, people would be like, what do you mean? Yahawashi, the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus, he was without sin. Yeah, he was in this life. But see, the Hebrew precepts and the prophecies and the context of the scriptures talks about reincarnation, something that the Western world doesn't understand, because Esau, the so-called white man, took our book while we were in captivity and spread a Renaissance Western version of a book that is from the East, that was written by the Hebrews. And Esau is an Edomite. He doesn't understand the scriptures. What they have done with the iconoclasm during Renaissance is they had made the Bible about white people. By making all the people, color doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter. Because they took a book that was...
And if color doesn't matter, right? Look at how everyone right now is going to go to the movie theater to see what this fucking man is going to say to them about the chariots. Why? Because it goes all the way back, bro, to when he first started talking. All these movies, you gotta understand, all these movies, 2023, 2017, 1977. This was the biggest one. This was the hugest one, and it fucking opened up the door, right, to all these other movies. And what is the mind? What are human beings likened unto? They're likened unto a garden, and you sow seeds, and the seeds water, and they grow, and over time, a crop is produced. This is decades and decades of deceptive social engineering programming in the minds of all these people who have no understanding scripturally. But this is, what is television? What is vision? What does the word vision mean, right? What is vision? It has to do, look, something seen in the imagination or in the supernatural. It goes into prophetic utterance. It goes into instruction, right? Watch, presence, sight, view, look, appearance, dream, supernatural sight, active seeing. If you go into the scriptures, part of vision is prophecy. Okay, to see. Wasn't a prophet called a seer? Okay, so when they're saying they're telling you a vision, television, right? Television, right? They're telling you a vision. They're giving you a narrative. Transmit by television. Let me see. Television, in reference to the theoretical system to transmit moving images. Okay, the theoretical, theo, goes into, or theater, theater. I believe that's it. Yeah, so theater, it goes into, it's God or gods. Theo, and then when you do the word theater, I don't know how to break that one down, but theater means something, but it's basically telling you that the whole world is a stage, right? So this is what Esau, the Lucifer, the top banking families, right, who have the light. Lucifer just means light. Lucifer, let's see, Lucifer. No, it's not Satan, but that is morning star. See, it's not light bringing. Light goes into wisdom. Lucifer means the group of people who have been given the wisdom to rule, to lead, to teach. That's what the wise men are in every rulership. They operate in left-handed light, and the prophets on the right-hand side, they operate in light. Look, if you go into the wisdom of Solomon, she is found before the light. And the she is talking about wisdom. She, though she is counted with the light, she is found before it. She is found before the light. Watch, this is Yahawashi as King Solomon, just going in, dancing and singing bars, and doing what only he can do as the ultimate son of Yahweh. Look, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh, and the image of goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. That's talking about Yahawashi. And in all ages, because he's been made wisdom now, and in all ages, entering into holy souls, those are your prophets. This light is what illuminates the prophets, just like the left-handed lights illuminates the Luciferians on the left-hand side. This motherfucker being one of them. Okay? This piece of shit. This guy's a lesser illuminary, even though he's a Judite, but this guy's he's illuminated. But what does he have to do to get his light? They got to do all kind of human sacrifices, sexual ceremonies, all kind of wicked shit, bro. And then they get the downloads. That's what the adrenochrome goes into. You can best believe this dude's been drinking that shit his whole goddamn life. He wouldn't be in the position that he is in to be sending these types of powerful enchantments all across the earth if he wasn't, bro. This is not a normal person, bro. This dude is he's been present at many human sacrifices, and he's done quite a few. And he's drinking a lot of that shit. And this brother has too, and he's on the lower level because he's a Judite. But this motherfucker, I'm telling you, bro, This ain't normal shit. And they're speaking extremely abominable, blasphemies or disrespectful blasphemy. And what is the blasphemy? Imperious or profane speaking of God or sacred things. The scriptures tell you right here, okay, what the chariots are. They are the military force of heaven. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. There's no disrespect here, bro. Okay? And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went up upon their sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and the rings were full of eyes. Now, were there actual eyeballs in the rings? No. What is that telling you? What do you do with an eye? You look and you see, right? So this is explaining how they are able to move interdimensionally. You have to have that type of sonar, radar vision to be able to move that fast in and out of dimensions without hitting something. That's what the prophet is explaining here, bro. It's not hard. And the rings were full of eyes around about them, and when the living creatures went, the wheels went with them. Now this proves that the so-called Edomites, that they have blasphemed, because what have they said? Oh, we found a flying saucer, it wrecked. It ran out of gas, it wrecked, and then we were able to reverse engineer the wrecked flying saucer. Oh, and we found a dead alien inside of it. And we got his DNA too, and now we can recreate them. That's a fucking blasphemy lie, you guys. Look. And verse 19, and when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were they're connected, were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went, because that is their source of fuel. That's their power, is the Spirit. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature, of the Alahayim, of the angel that's inside of the ship, his spirit is what's propelling the ship. Creature was in the wheels. So there's a connecting. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So the mind, the breath, the will of the holy angel, of the right-handed angel or the left-handed angel, is literally the propulsion, lift, and force of the UFO. So unless the angel dies, that UFO it's not going to fall down. So that shit that they said, oh, and this is the blasphemy that they speak, and then look, Revelations tells you, a mouth to speak blasphemy. Let me see. Nope. Blasphemy. Let me just see if that blasphemy. Let me see. Let's go all the way down. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Let me show you. Okay. And I stood upon the sea, and he opened his mouth. Bam. There it is. And that mouth is talking about Hollywood and all their writings and their fucking Christianity, all that shit. Look. And Revelations 13:6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Who's the them that dwell in heaven? It's talking about the angels. So them changing the name of Yahweh. There's even I did a lesson on one of the movies that oh my God, let me see if I can pull that up to prove it. Look, Yahweh, let me see. How can I do this? Yahweh is on the name. The ancient Hebrew name of God is on the staff of Ra in one of Steven Spielberg's movies. Let's pull that up. Watch. Showing you this piece of shit, and all the people that work with him, they know the truth, bro. So here it tells you who's the he. It's talking about the so-called fucking white man, bro. He opened his mouth to blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name. Well, what's his name? His name is Yahweh. It's not Jehovah. It's not Hashem. It's Jehovah. And what's the name of his son? Yahawashi. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yahusha. It's not Jesus. It's Yahawashi. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. We got to show you these things. The ancient name of God on the staff. Let me see if it pulls it up.
In Steven Spielberg's Asterisk Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Staff of Ra displays the Paleo-Hebrew name YHWH, which represents the name of the Hebrew god and not an Egyptian deity. The text also includes the words, "Honor the Lord and his tabernacle."
Yahweh. You see it right there. This is in the fucking movie, bro. That's the name. Yahweh. Yahweh. That's his name. And so they put this. I remember when I first saw this, I got so fucking mad. I did a lesson on it. Yep. And these were the pictures. Because someone on TikTok pointed it out. And then I did a lesson on it. And it fucking pissed me off. This was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then what were the, remember? No. Let's go back. Let's pull it up again so you guys can see it. Come on, man. That's there. And they put that there as a mockery because this is his real name. But they knew in the 80s when this movie came out that you guys didn't know the real name. But they do, and they're not going to tell you. But they're claiming to be the Jews. When you see this shit, it pisses you off. And then people still don't believe that this guy's a piece of shit Amalekite. He's just a white man. Amalek is the head tribe of all the other Edomites. They're all fucking related. They have their own people deceived into thinking that they're different. No, they're the same. They're just they're the head tribe, like the so-called black man is the head tribe of the 12 tribes. This is why everything that black people do has such an impact on everybody, good and bad. Because we're the head tribe of the true tribe, the true 12 tribes of Israel. And this is why everything these fuckers do has such an impact on the world. But it's not because they're white or Jews, it's because of the Amalekites. They're the head tribe of Edom. That's the fucking reason why. And nobody knows that shit. And when they hear it, they still don't want to fucking believe it. But that is what's going on. Let's go back to the movies. So this guy, this one dude, has been doing Steven Spielberg movies. Let's Steven Spielberg movies. So since he has been releasing movies, he's been blaspheming and filling the earth with enchantments. Okay? There goes, so 2008, that's a newer one. The first Indiana Jones, 1984. So that movie had the true name of Yahweh on the big screen for everybody to see. But because the majority of us were in a dead state, meaning in the congregation of the dead, because we had no understanding, we didn't recognize it. And plus, because it's written in the ancient language, it wasn't written in English or some kind of white man thing, you know what I mean? Oh, it does, because everyone's been trained through Renaissance Christianity that anything that has to do with God has to come in a white male package. It has to be presented to you by a white man in a suit and a tie with a shaved beard, right? And speaking English. If it doesn't come in that format, somehow it's not righteous. And that is the deception. That's the fucking deception. It's insane. But this is an attack. You see the chariot. I want to try to bring it up, but that's a wheel. You see the wheel within a wheel. You see two wheels. Looks like like a big double stuffed Oreo cookie. Like you can see the two wheels, and then inside like the filling of the cream, even though it's a bunch. Dude, if you think about it, this is brilliantly displayed in the 70s. But where did they get the information? They got it from the scriptures. They took the Apocrypha out of the Bible, 14 books in the 1800s. And the Apocrypha explains in detail, 2 Ezra chapter 13, Yahawashi coming back on one of these, a cloud the size of a mountain, to destroy the so-called white man during Armageddon, Yahawashi, the day of the Lord, the final battle. And in America, it gets destroyed during World War III through thermonuclear fire. That's how you read the scriptures. But if you teach the Bible that way, the so-called white man is no longer the so-called white man. That's why they've never told you this shit. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. I still didn't. There's still so much more we could cover. But this piece of shit's been fucking lying. I put this picture in the chat for the brothers at the the camp at GMS, and then my brother Yashamai responded back to me privately, like, look how fucking effeminate. And that was the whole point for me posting it. But it now, and I started, and the more I left him a voicemail talking about this, and I was like, dude, this is now going to become a lesson. But this, you got to, there's reasons for all this. This race of people is all about defiling the temple of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. And we are that temple. We are the third temple. The elect men of the 12 tribes of Israel from the northern and southern kingdom, we are that living temple. We are that bride that comes out of the city, that comes out from God like a bride. It's talking about the regenerated, it's talking about the glorified bodies, the new covenant purchased by the blood of Yahawashi. It's talking about the everlasting tabernacles that the elect men are crowned with when they come out of the chariots and come back to the earth after they were beamed up, and they have those supernatural bodies. They're like a bunch of X-Men or Kryptonians, and we subdue the fucking earth. That's when we dig out all these fuckers that are going to be hiding in their underground bunkers when shit hits the fan, and all the people that are with them, all the women that are with them, everybody that's with them, we're going to dig them fucking out, and we're going to spoil the fucking shit of them. We're going to put them in chains, but we're going to take all the good shit. All the females, we're taking all them. Those are going to be our fucking incubators, bro. We're going to be busting nuts in them hoes, bro. And we're going to fucking put these fuckers in chains and beat the fucking shit out of them. And niggas like this are going to be put to death for teaming up with these bastards. Yahawashi is coming to put this fucking earth in order and then subdue and rule the entire universe. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahawashi, B'Hashem Hakadosh, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from. This is your brother, Radah. Shalom.